What's up? This is all from my phone, and guys, I am back. It's been a hot minute since I've done a video, but I wanted to do a quick video of where I've been, why I haven't made a video in such a long time, and where my car's at. So it's been a long time since I've done anything to this car. I pretty much stopped at the tunes. The last video that I had about modifying my car was with the tunes. So after driving it for almost over a year now, with everything that it has on it, intake, header, exhaust, clutch, pressure plate, flywheel, short shifter, I just kind of want to go through all that stuff and see, just pretty much tell you what's worth it and what's not worth it. A lot of times we buy certain things and we're like, oh, is this really gonna give me horsepower? And when you first drive the car, your brain always kind of tricks you into thinking that it actually is doing something for you and for your car. But over the period of a year or so, you start to realize that a lot of these things probably aren't worth buying. So with further ado, I bring you this video so that you guys can pretty much make your own assumptions as well, but take it from me, who's done this stuff already. Some of this stuff isn't worth it. Now, again, this is my humble opinion. This does not reflect any parts that I may mention here. You may think that they work better than others, but this is just my humble opinion. So let's start off by the interior of the car, what I've done in the interior. Short shifter. This is a Relco short shifter that I got from eBay. And before we start, yes, I burned the crap out of my hands at work. Anyways, so this is a Relco short shifter. Is it worth it? I would say no. I don't know, man. I guess if you like short shifters, it's nice, I guess. But let's be honest, when you're driving, it's kind of uncomfortable to put your hand lower than it is if you have it nice and high. I've seen kind of those drifter types. I'm not going to do that to my car. If I were to do it all over again, I would probably just change the bushings and stuff like that just to make it tighter but keep the same height. Like the stock short shifter with just the tightness of the bushings that you can add on to this. If you guys have any questions about any of this stuff, there's other videos where I had stuff on here about this. There's videos on YouTube about guys putting these in there. But like I said, is it worth, I don't know, the 150 bucks? I would say keep your money, and later in the future, if you still want to do it. But from the get-go, probably not your first priority. All right, so let's go on from that to the radio. This is 100% worth it. I love this radio. This radio has not given me any issues. It plays DVDs. I have a daughter, and she loves riding in my car because I play her DVDs. It works perfect. I'm telling you, I haven't had a problem yet. It's pretty seamless. It runs off of Android. It's pretty awesome. Now, what I will tell you is this is a Korean-made radio. So when you say doubled in Korean, you're gonna be getting this, and you're gonna have to modify it to fit in your little cubby hole there. Like I just got a doubled in kit, and I modified the top here, broke it off here, and in the corners, and then I kept the centerpiece here to kind of make it look good. So it looks good. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect fit, but it still looks good. Nobody sits in my car and says, oh man, you jacked up your car. It still looks good. So radio, 100% worth it. I have a video of where I got this radio and what it's called. If you guys are interested, this is definitely worth it. I get my calls through here. It has Google Maps. It's a perfect radio. Honestly, it really is a good radio. Oh, another cool thing about this radio, when I turn on my car, All right, I'm gonna have to just do it from the get-go. I'll just turn it off and turn it back on. Aha, check that out. It comes with the display where you can put your favorite vehicle, Toyota, Chevy, whatever it is. That is the home screen when you first turn on your car. It's kind of like any Toyota. My wife has a Venza, and it has that same exact symbol when you first turn it on. So it's a pretty cool feature. And this is a Android running system, so if you know how to mess with Androids, you could probably do a lot more with this. I just don't get that deep into it because I'm not that into it. I am into having nice radios in the car though, and this is one of them. Now, let's move on to something else. Air fuel pod or gauge. Is it worth it? If you are tuned, yes. You need one of these if you are a tuned vehicle. You do not want to be driving around with a tuned ECU and not knowing what's going on in your air fuel. Why do you don't want to know? Why do you not want to do that? Is because you can blow your car up. If your tuner puts a tune in there and your car reacts to it differently than some other person's tune, because that does happen with these cars, you could be running super lean and not know it. And when you are running super lean, kabloomy. So this is a must if you are not if you are tuned. If you are not tuned, I would probably save your money. There's no reason to know what the stock tune is for a car because they're pretty much all the same. And honestly, it's just twinkly little lights at that point. Now, next to it, I changed out my cigarette lighter, but this car, in the US, they don't come with cigarette lighters. They're just pretty much power ports. I changed this out for USB plugs. This is pretty cool because me and the wifey can be charging at the same time. We don't need to buy those stupid little plug-in things for the USB so that we can both be charging. So it's pretty cool. Wifey doesn't really drive in this car with me, but when she does, it's really nice that we can both charge our phones at the same time. So that is definitely worth it. So I like that a lot. Next on the list, let's see. Now you guys have seen my AC is still sticking out, bro. I have not put that back up. I need to. I've just been pretty lazy. So yeah, but we'll get to that a little later. Cutout. I'm gonna go in here because this is where the cutout, the little module is. So pretty much, this is my cutout module right there. That little black box is stuck to the side, and it plugs into the socket that's in here. And that's why I mounted it in there. Because I mean, I guess you could use that socket, but that'd be kind of weird because it'd be just cables hanging out. This way, it hides all the cables and the little module. And then I ran it pretty much in between the seat. See the cable there? In between the seat, through here, and then down into where the O2 sensor is, down the car, and into the cutout. Now, this is a pretty cool cutout because it comes with a remote style open and close type of thing. I put mine here, as you can see. Let me see if I can get a good shot of it. Yeah, that's pretty dope. You can close it so you don't accidentally hit it. And then this is the open button. It is now open. Close it. So I mounted it there because I could just beep, push it. Car gets a little louder. It's fun. Is it worth it? Well, that depends. Does it make your car faster? Yes, 100%. It does make the car faster. I've had a couple instances where I've raced people with cutout closed and open, and it makes a huge difference. I got a boy that has a Kia Optima. I think I've mentioned it before on the channel, but he has a Kia Optima turbo with some bolt-ons and a tune. And closed, he would slightly pull on me in fourth. Open, I would pull on him straight through fifth. And I would say probably get maybe a car and a half on him. And then once we get into fifth, once I get it like up to like 130, 100 and like closer to 140 range, you know, he starts to reel me in just a little bit. But I mean, it's a turbo car. It's got way more torque than this car, so it can keep up the momentum. This car is kind of hard once it gets up there to keep that momentum going. But from like a second to fifth gear, I'm in front of him the entire time until I start to lose that momentum. So yeah, it does work. It does work. And the nice thing about it is that you can be quiet, you can be loud. You know, cop comes around, you shut it off. He doesn't know that you have a cutout, so he's like, I could have sworn I just heard his car really loud. Maybe it wasn't him. So that's a plus. So like I said, it's worth it. It's worth it if you want to go faster and you want to be a little incognito. To have a fart can on this car is like having a sign over your car that says, hey, you cop, stop me. Trust me on this. I had my experience with my red XRS. I had a fart can on that thing, angled out like it was Rice City, right? But cops would literally get behind me just because they heard and saw me from a mile away, and would literally just look up my information and say, oh yeah, this guy has tons of tickets, let's just stop him for no reason. And trust me when I tell you, stop you for no reason, they did. Sometimes they would just say like, oh, you're switching lanes back there. Like literally that was one cop's excuse one time. So you were switching lanes and I wanted to investigate, like stupid stuff. So anyways, it is a magnet for cops. So I did not want this car to be a magnet. I have not yet been stopped by a cop on this car. So is it worth it? Heck yeah. For me, it was worth it because I haven't gotten in trouble with the car. And I have had lots of fun with it. And I haven't been, you know, I haven't been stopped. So, is it worth it? Yes, it is. I will warn you, though. It is annoying open. So annoying that you cannot drive it for more than... Oh, I mean, I've driven it, you know, from my house to work, which is like 20 minutes, all the way open from there to there. But you have to be like blasting music, because if you're not, it is just super loud in here, like super duper loud, and with the windows down, even worse. So yeah, is it worth it? Yes. If you're annoyed by noise, no. Like, it just depends on the person, I guess. But if you want your car to go faster, yeah, it is worth it. Now on to some other stuff. Intake. I have an engine intake, and it's a cold air. I've had a short ram intake before, eBay short ram before. I will tell you that cold air does make a difference. It makes a whole lot of difference. So, is a cold air worth it on this car? Yes, it is. I live in Florida. Some people would say the cold air intake in Florida is dumb because water and flooding and stuff like that. No, not necessarily. This car, if you're not an idiot and you don't drive over like 2-3 feet of water, then you're not gonna have that problem. If you are an idiot, then maybe this isn't for you. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody by that, but it's the truth. I mean, it's as simple as not going through water. I mean, in Florida, yes, it rains a lot, but as long as you're not driving through a giant puddle of water and doing it on purpose, then you should be fine. My cold air intake is actually off of a Matrix XRS. I know there's a lot of people asking, does it fit? Yes, it does. Does it fit perfect? No, it does not. I modified mine I cut a little bit off the end of it so that it fits right behind the bumper, and it fits just fine after that. It literally does nothing to it if you cut that off. What I also did was I made a duct that went from the front of the filter all the way to the front of the car to get nice cold air into that air filter. And it works. It seems to work. And besides that, cold air intakes, for some reason, when the lift hits, it sounds nasty. Like it's really loud and nice, deep, throaty type of sound when that kicks in. So, and cold airs, for some reason, are a little louder. I don't know if it has to do just because of the length of the tube, and it like travels that sound, and it echoes that sound better. But it sounds great with the cold air. So is it worth it? Yes. Does it add power? Yes. This car feels a lot quicker with the cold air. Now, if you're gonna do a cold air, you want to get exhaust. Is it worth spending the money on getting some TRD exhaust or some sort of, I don't know, expensive exhaust for this car? No. No, 100% no. I have found that even with just my header and cutout, that is my exhaust. I mean, that is my exhaust system on this car. It's just header, cutout, that's it. I have found that it works just as good, or if not better, than if you went and got like a header back type of exhaust. A cutout is pretty much you just open the pipe and all the back pressure. I mean, you lose back pressure, so you're gonna lose some torque. When you open and that also depends on the day. If it's a nice cold day, you're not gonna notice the loss of torque. But if it's a hot day and you open the cutout and you try to get on it, you're gonna definitely feel that the car isn't as torquey on the bottom end, but it is more powerful on the top end, if that makes any sense to any of you guys. So yes, there is some sort of design for exhaust and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, you just need a bigger diameter pipe. You can go to any local muffler shop, tell them, hey, I want 2.5-inch piping from the header back, and it'll be suffice. For me, I pretty much have 2.5-inch piping all the way up to the muffler. There is one section, probably I would say maybe like about 2-3 feet, not even like a foot or two, that is stock piping that goes to the muffler. But I took out the catalytic converter. I also took out my resonator. So this car is very loud when it's open, and it's kind of loud too when you're just normal driving with it closed, with the cutout closed. And it's because of that I took the resonator out. Is that worth it? I don't know. You know, it just like I said, this car, it's kind of hard to get horsepower once you reach a certain point. So I always say every little bit helps. And, you know, if you don't need it, take it out. Me, I live in Florida. We don't have inspections, so we don't need a catalytic converter. So I took mine out. It's super loud, but it's a whole lot of fun. It does make the interior of the car smell a little bit sometimes. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. But for the love of race car, I did it. So that one right there, it just depends. Is it worth deleting your cat? If you live in a state where they have inspections, then no, it's not worth it. If you live in a state where they, you know, don't have inspections, and maybe it is worth it for you. If it's not, then just don't do it. But just know that it does help, and it makes horsepower if you delete the cat. This car does very well with opening up the exhaust stream and the intake stream, and you know, if you take out the cat, you're doing that. So is it worth it for me? Yes. Is it worth it for some people? No. But it does make the car faster. Moving right along, headers. Is it worth it? 100 times yes. 1,000,000 times yes. there's no way that you can make the 200 horsepower that a lot of you guys want to make with this car without it, unless you're spraying or boosting. If you're going all motor and you want to make 200 horsepower and you want to be all motor, it's a must. You have to get them. And don't get any DC Sport BS like that, because those aren't real. DC Sport, it's like they got the stock exhaust manifold, sprayed some gray on it, and said, "Hey, this is your aftermarket header," and it doesn't work. So PPE is the only one that makes it. Now, it's worth it in the point where it's fast or faster when you get it, but it is expensive. It's $750. I know that sounds crazy, but it is a big piece of metal. I have a video on me receiving it, opening the box. If you guys want to look at that, check out my channel, subscribe, do what you want. You got to do. Check out the videos. Everything that I've mentioned here, I have a video for mostly. So if you want to check out me getting it, check out my videos. But yes, it is absolutely worth it. I mean, it's $750, yes, but if you have a goal in mind and you want to add power, this is a very good way to add power and torque. So, is it worth it? Yes, it was worth it for me. Now, moving to the engine, there's a couple things that I have done to the engine other than intake and headers. I also have a intake manifold not gasket, but a spacer, and I also have a intake thermal gasket. Are these worth it? I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I actually had to take off my spacer because it broke two of my bolts going into the intake manifold. So, is it worth it? No. Don't even waste your money. I took mine off and it feels like it's running exactly the same. The thermal gasket, I mean, colder air going into the intake is always a plus. So, I kept it on there. Is it doing anything? Maybe. Is it not doing anything? Probably. But I still have it in there. And I also thermal wrapped my intake on my car. It's a gold wrap, and like I said, is it doing anything? Probably not, but I'm trying to do every little bit that I can to make the car quicker. Another thing that I have on my engine are ignition coils. I started off with excess ignition coils before everybody knew that they were crap and they didn't work. Now everyone knows they're crap and they didn't work. Even Monkey Wrench Racing, I had called them a couple of times and told them about it, and they, on their website, switched it over and said, yeah, if you want these, you're going to have to pay $1 million. But they did that because they know that the product sucks, and nobody's going to pay $1 million for spark plug ignition coils. I mean, so until they get it right and they re-engineer that, which I doubt they'll ever do because this car doesn't even exist anymore, IP is the only other people that make ignition coils for this car. Does it work? I would say yeah. I mean, you do feel a slight difference. Is it worth it? If you're paying $700 that they're asking for, no. If you get used ones, yeah, sure. $150, $200 for some used ones, yeah, it's worth it. $700 for brand new ones, yeah, you can go ahead and pound sand for that one. If you don't have the money, don't do it. If you find some used ones, buy them. So, is it worth the coils? Yeah, I would say they are worth it if you have the money, or find them that in a cheaper price. And I do have them on my car. They feel nice. I got them for a cheaper price. What else? Tuning. I have an entire video on this. Is it worth it? Yes. 100%. Yes. There's no other way to make power in this car after you bolted everything on. You must tune it. It makes a world of a difference. And I have an entire video on whose tune is good and what tune's not good. So if you want to see that video, I also have it on my page. Check it out and let me know. So guys, this is pretty much it. I also have LED headlights. Those are worth it. They've worked really well for me. They're really nice at night, really nice and bright. So those are worth it. And what else? And that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna do engine wise for now. I do have some other stuff on the car, but it's not really worth me mentioning if I'm just talking about performance. So overall, all in all, most of the stuff that I put on this car is worth buying. So if you're looking, real quick, clutch, pressure plate, and flywheel. Is a Fidenza flywheel worth it? Yes. It revs up so quick, and like the difference is awesome. You got to get used to it because obviously with it being a lightweight flywheel, the RPMs drop very quickly. With a heavier flywheel, the RPMs usually stay up. But you know, once you get used to that flywheel, it's really nice. Is the flywheel worth it? Yes, 100%. Is it worth getting like a $600 or $700 clutch plate and pressure plate? No. I had a 6-puck Fidenza V2 in this. For one, it rides like crap because it shudders a lot. For two, it wastes just as fast as a cheap one because it's a 6-puck and it's meant for pretty much racing. So it's very uncomfortable, it wastes very quick, and you spend $600 on it when you could have just probably bought a cheap one. It lasted the same amount of time and rides a lot better. So flywheel, yes. Get yourself like some, you know, what's a good brand? Clutch. Like an Exity Stage 1 clutch, which is like $100 and some bucks. That's a good brand. They do quality stuff. Buy that. Because if you think about it, guys, you're pretty much paying $600 and some bucks for some brake pads, because that's what it is. It's a surface that rubs on a surface that's like a rotor, and it pretty much wastes. Like you're literally wasting your money, like literally. So if you buy something that's cheaper and does the same thing, it's more cost effective. So flywheel, yes. Don't buy something expensive for a pressure plate and a clutch. Well, don't buy anything too inexpensive either, because they can break pretty quickly. So eBay stuff, try to stay away from. If you do buy off of eBay, like I said, Exity is not a bad clutch manufacturing company. So pretty much that's it, guys. That's it for this video. If you guys want to see anything else on this video or have any questions about anything that I've mentioned in this video, hit me up in the comments. And I will be back with another video of my gender reveal and show you guys how I did that. All right, guys. Hey, guys, one last quick thing. I totally forgot. I was going to say why I've been, like, MIA. You guys know this. I was in the process of moving, but the move got delayed because of Hurricane Irma. And I wasn't able to get into my house that I'm in now, like a month after the fact that we already had made the contract, did everything, and we're supposed to close. So that delayed. Also, I have a new job. I work as a mechanic for Orange County Fleet, and yeah, it's a excuse me, it's a 9 to 5. You know, not really 9 to 5. It's more like 7 to 3:30. But I have to be working every single day. In my old job, I only worked 3 days a week, and I had some time to, you know, I had time to mess around and make more videos. So that's why it's been a little rough for me, but I'm trying to get back on the ball because I want to continue with the channel. There's some guys that have been telling me that I need to put more content out there, so that's what I'm doing. I'm putting more content out. Other reasons why, I've just had a lot of stuff with family, some private stuff, but yeah, and I also have another child on the way, so you know, life is gonna get a lot more busy for me, but I want this YouTube thing to keep going, so I'm gonna continue to make videos. my next video, speaking of children, is my gender reveal. I've already posted, if you guys, some of my followers and some of my subscribers are already on the 9th Gen Corolla page. That's my car, the gender reveal video that's on there. So if you guys want to check out a little snippet of it, you can check out the Facebook page on 9th Gen Corolla forums page on Facebook. But I am going to be making a gender reveal video. I'm going to pretty much show you how I do it, and how you can do it with your car if you wanted to, and I hope you guys enjoy that video too. But anyways, that's pretty much an update for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. There will be more videos to come. Peace.